Picture this. You're 13 years old, and instead of worrying about homework or what to wear tomorrow, you're learning 17 different ways to capture enemies without killing them. Because apparently, dead prisoners don't make the gods happy, and unhappy gods means everyone dies horribly. Welcome to your life as an Aztec warrior, where your morning routine includes checking if your obsidian blade is sharp enough to shave with, and practicing your intimidating war cry. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a rough few decades. Your journey into this delightful career path starts the moment you can walk without face-planting into a cactus. While other kids in distant lands are playing with wooden toys, you're getting your first lesson in the fine art of not dying spectacularly in combat. Your father sits you down with the kind of serious expression usually reserved for discussing where babies come from. Except this conversation is about where warriors go when they get turned into human pincushions. The family elder examines you like you're a piece of meat at the market. "Strong arms for wielding a maquahuitl," he declares, poking your tiny biceps. "Good eyes for spotting enemy weaknesses. Loud voice for terrifying opponents. Thanks for the confidence boost, Grandpa." Nothing says childhood like being evaluated on your potential for organized violence before you've lost your baby teeth. Your first real weapon isn't some legendary blade passed down through generations of noble warriors. It's a wooden club embedded with obsidian shards that's basically designed to turn your enemies into very unhappy confetti. The maquahuitl feels heavier than you do, and swinging it properly requires the kind of coordination you definitely don't have at age 7. Your instructor watches you stumble around like a drunk hummingbird and sighs deeply. "At least you're enthusiastic," he mutters, probably wondering if he should start updating his resume. Training begins at dawn because apparently warriors don't believe in sleeping in. Ever. Your daily schedule reads like a sadist's dream vacation. Weapons practice until your arms feel like overcooked noodles, running drills until your lungs stage a formal protest, and hand-to-hand combat training. That's basically just getting beat up by older kids who've been doing this longer than you've been breathing. The obsidian weapons are sharper than anything you've ever imagined, which makes practice sessions feel like the world's most dangerous juggling act. One wrong move, and you're explaining to your mother why you're missing fingers. Your first sparring session ends with you flat on your back, staring at clouds, while your opponent stands over you grinning like he just solved world hunger. "Better luck next time," he says cheerfully. "There's always tomorrow to embarrass yourself again. But here's where things get really fun. Capture training. See, killing enemies in battle is fine and all, but the gods are apparently picky eaters who prefer their sacrificial offerings with a pulse. This means you need to master the delicate art of beating someone unconscious without actually killing them. It's like performing surgery with a war club while someone's actively trying to remove your head from your shoulders. Your instructors make it sound simple. Just hit them hard enough to stop fighting, but not hard enough to stop breathing. Easy, right? Right? Your first attempt at capture practice goes about as well as expected. You swing your training weapon with all the grace of a falling tree, miss completely, and somehow manage to knock yourself over. The target dummy remains perfectly intact while you're face first in the dirt, questioning your life choices. Your fellow trainees find this absolutely hilarious, of course. Nothing builds character quite like public humiliation before breakfast. The really exciting part comes when you learn about the flower wars. These aren't actual conflicts over gardening disputes, despite the name. They're ritualized battles specifically designed to capture prisoners for sacrifice. Think of them as the world's deadliest farmer's market. Except, instead of buying corn, you're shopping for people to offer to angry deities. Your role in these charming events will be to run into battle, somehow avoid getting turned into a sacred meal yourself, and drag back enough prisoners to keep the gods from destroying civilization. No pressure. The flower wars turn out to be less about flowers and more about trying not to become fertilizer yourself. Your first real battle is a masterclass in controlled chaos, where everyone's supposedly following rules that nobody bothered to explain clearly. The goal is capturing enemies alive, but somehow everyone's still swinging razor-sharp obsidian like they're trying to harvest a particularly stubborn crop of human limbs. You charge into your first flower war with the confidence of someone who's never been stabbed before. That confidence lasts exactly 3 seconds before you realize that actual combat bears no resemblance to practice. Your carefully memorized techniques evaporate faster than morning dew, as you find yourself face to face with a warrior who clearly didn't get the memo about being captured gracefully. Your training kicks in just enough to keep you breathing while you flail around, trying to remember which end of your weapon does the capturing. Meanwhile, your opponent is demonstrating advanced techniques that definitely weren't covered in basic training. You manage to avoid getting turned into sacred artwork, but your capture attempt looks more like an interpretive dance about confusion than actual warfare. By some miracle involving luck, divine intervention, and your enemy tripping over his own feet, you actually manage to capture someone. Your prisoner looks as surprised as you feel, probably wondering how he got defeated by someone who fights like a startled chicken. Victory tastes like blood, sweat, and the dawning realization that you'll have to do this again tomorrow. But surviving combat is just the beginning of your problems. The real nightmare starts when you have to navigate Aztec Warrior society, where every conversation is a potential death sentence, and every meal might be your last. Social climbing here involves literal climbing over the bodies of your competition, and the politics make a nest of angry wasps look like a peaceful meditation retreat. Your success in the flower wars earns you a promotion, which sounds great until you realize it mainly means more opportunities to die horribly. Higher-ranking warriors get better assignments, like leading raids against heavily fortified cities, or capturing enemy generals who've been killing people since before you were born. Your new responsibilities include training younger warriors, which means watching the next generation make all the same mistakes you did. Except now their failures might get you killed too. The pressure of leadership weighs heavier than your feathered costume during religious ceremonies. Every decision could spell disaster for your unit, and your men look to you for guidance even when you're internally screaming and have no idea what you're doing. You learn to project confidence while your brain is busy calculating escape routes and wondering if it's too late to become a farmer instead. Years pass in a blur of battles, captures, and somehow not dying. You've survived more flower wars than you can count, earned enough honors to make your ancestors proud, and developed the kind of combat instincts that keep you breathing when younger warriors would become decorative temple ornaments. But age is catching up, and your body bears the accumulated damage of decades spent professionally endangering yourself. Your final battle arrives not with fanfare, but with the quiet recognition that you've pushed your luck as far as it will go. The young warrior facing you moves with the same desperate energy you once had, while you fight with the calculated precision of someone who's learned that surviving is more important than looking impressive. In the end, experience trumps enthusiasm, but just barely. As you drag your final prisoner back to Tenochtitlan, you reflect on a lifetime spent dancing with death for the entertainment of gods who never seemed entirely satisfied no matter how many people you fed them. Your legacy isn't written in stone monuments or epic poems. It's measured in the simple fact that you lived long enough to retire, which in your profession counts as a legendary achievement. The young warriors look at you with the same mix of respect and terror you once reserved for the veterans of your youth. They'll learn as you did, that being an Aztec warrior means embracing a lifestyle where every day is potentially your last, and the only reward for success is the chance to do it all again tomorrow. At least the retirement benefits include not getting your heart cut out, which is honestly better than most career paths in Mesoamerica.